Hello and welcome to MoonClan. My name is Rossi, and today we are picking up where we left off last time. We're actually, crazily enough, going to be going into Moon 111 for MoonClan, which should be 110 for Frost Whisper. So last time, oh, I forgot. I need to take off his wings. I just saw him on the little clan overview. All right, let's go ahead and we'll give him back his moth wings. There we go. So last time we got to see our apprentices, or our kids grow up into apprentices, and we also headed into New Leaf. We're actually going into summertime, or Green Leaf, I think it is now. So we should be doing a little bit better on terms of herbs since we lost everything again in the wintertime. And I don't think really much of anything else happened. We've had quite a kitten boom with a lot of single dads out there, but it seems to have at least slowed down, calmed a little bit. But before I forget, we are going to be doing something new here. So I think we're going to try entreating with outsiders since we can technically be recruiting people. And hopefully in Greenleaf, when we have plenty of, items, food and herbs, that's gonna hopefully be at the pinnacle. So we'll see if it actually turns out that way. I feel like I only get loners in like Leaf Fall or Leaf Bear, even worse, when we can't actually recruit anybody. But we definitely have had some pretty close familial relationships, so getting some more new blood in here and, giving our kids options to have relationships would be nice. One more aside. So I did ask for help last time on, I was having an issue loading LifeGen, I guess, specifically. And I have played around with it a little bit. I think it's just a faulty, update. Some others mentioned that this is just happening in general and that it's saying that there's an update when there's not. So I assumed the update I was missing was to remove the horror elements, like from Halloween and stuff. And it seems like it did. And it's still saying that it had an update, so I think we're in the clear. I think it's just going to keep saying that there's an update when there's actually not. It's not a huge deal. I just felt like I was doing something wrong or I was going to be missing out on some content. So I just wanted to make sure that was clear in case somebody was like, Frosty, you're not doing the brand new patrol that they added to the game. Then I could be like, hey, I know there's an update. It's not working for me for some reason. But it doesn't sound like that's the case. So we should be good, and I'm obviously not putting any pressure on any of the devs to fix this right away. They are a small team, of course, and again, this game is completely free. So for one, I'd never put pressure on devs to make something go quicker or to fix something right away because I'm like to think I'm a patient person. I'm fine waiting for a better end product, even if that ends up being way too long into the Spider-Verse 3, but I will, wait patiently. And of course, if this is something the devs are doing on their own time at no profit to themselves, I'm putting even less pressure on that. I'm putting negative pressure on them. I just appreciate everything that they do in the event that any devs ever actually listen to this, which I'd be surprised. But I do really appreciate you guys. All right, now I think all the asides are done, so we're gonna go ahead and do our time skip. Oh, okay. This is actually a little bit surprising to me. During a clan meeting, we startle as the eyes of the clan turn towards us. At the center, Yarosar waits patiently with Jumblepaw standing eagerly by their side. We realize we were chosen to be Jumblepaw's mentor. For a moment, the world stands still. You walk forward, our heart pounding with pride and apprehension. Touching our nose to Jumblepaw's, we accept the honor passing down what you know. So we finally got another apprentice. It has been, no exaggeration, probably between 60 and 80 moons since our last apprentice, so I'm really stoked for that, actually. and I genuinely don't know what would have changed between now and then. Maybe because Frost Whisper lost a lot of his apprentices as young warriors, he just needed some time to mourn, and then maybe cats were kind of tiptoeing around him. Like they didn't want to bring it back up by giving him another apprentice, and then it just never came up again, sort of a thing. But I'm glad that Yarosar finally is going to trust us enough to give us a cat to apprentice. I know that Yarosar also just genuinely dislikes us, so as much as I hate to say that could be a factor, that could have also been a factor for why we weren't chosen to mentor another cat. But we were entrusted with Jumblepaw, and we're gonna do our best with them. We can only hope it goes better than the last couple. We look for our mate to ask them out on a date, and we see them pressing their pelt up against another cat. When Liar Rush sees you, they quickly run up to you to explain. Okay, another aside, but like whatever Liar does, like, is fine, because there's all kinds of normal things that people can do that could be misconstrued as being like too intimate or whatever, even when it's like fully platonic. So like that in and of itself, I don't necessarily mind. Now, like if you were to get into the topic of like polyamory or like having another relationship, then obviously that's going to warrant a conversation. But like, I'm just gonna throw this out here now. I don't really care in the context of clan gen how relationships pan out all that much. Like, Liar could get another partner, Frost can get another partner, they can both get mutually exclusive partners, the same partner, like, I don't care. I'm not jealous. I don't know if Frost would be jealous either. We look to the stars one evening and ponder, is StarClan really watching? We do have a bit of a dark forest tendency, so I guess that's not too out of place. Moonfern and the kits have a bit of a mess with whatever game they were playing. We decide to clean up, and later Moonfern is incredibly grateful. Swampaw seems to be having a very hard time lately. We extend some kindness to her, and she's soon bouncing back thanks to you. We try to show off a few battle moves to the kits, only to faceplant on the ground instead. Truly impressive, and truly worthy of being a mentor. River, don't eat that. What are you getting? She found like one of those little plastic Halloween spider rings and she was killing it, so I took it away from her. I don't know if you guys could hear her complaining or not, but she wasn't happy. Needledew informs us that we are scheduled for yet another midnight patrol. Seriously? Exactly, River. She's so unhappy I took away that spider. A lot of different interactions this moon. I do think we're gonna do mostly family and apprentice sort of stuff for this moon. And then starting next moon, we'll alternate. I still think that's probably the best, and I got a comment reflecting that as well. So we'll keep doing that, and if it gets too annoying or too much still, we'll, you know, change that around. Okay, so we have our notice here about being Jumblepaw's mentor. Fishpaw silently swears to StarClan to do his best for the clan as he touches noses with Shaded Antler. Eager to learn the best ways to help her clan thrive, Scratchpaw excitedly touches noses with Mistspot. In her eagerness, Slumberpaw accidentally shoves her nose into Yarosar so hard that he flinches back in surprise. Slumberpaw sheepishly apologizes, and the two have a good laugh about it. Alright, so everyone's getting an apprentice this moon. Sky Scratch no longer has a running nose. Moonfern has gotten a stomachache. Weaselreed's wound is no longer infected. Okay, he got bit by a snake and it got infected, and he wasn't doing well, so glad that cleared up. Hillpel's running nose is gone. Blueshade soreness is gone. Amber Stripe has gotten heat exhaustion. Bronzepelt is feeling much better. His bruises are gone. Generally good, except for the heat exhaustion. Charge Rumble accidentally trespasses onto Goose Clan's territory, not Goon Clan. The Bliss Clan medicine cat comes asking if we have any lungwort to spare. Graciously, we decide to aid our allies and share the herbs. In addition to Charter Rumble, Case of Storm was seen chasing a rogue off the territory. Once again, we have encountered Knight, who apparently some of the cats in our clan hate. Just to double check in here too, we are still allies with all of the other clans, and we are still considered proud, along with most of the other clans. And we still can't really do much else there. But I don't think I'm going to give Charred Rumble a strike. Accidentally trespassing onto Goose Clan's territory is very different than crossing it to steal a squirrel or something, for example. For me, this kind of reads more like you tripped into somebody else's territory. I don't know how exactly that may happen, just a wandering mind or an unclear boundary. But I don't want to hold it against Chard either, so I'm going to let it go for this go. Okay, let's check out all of the new apprentices though. So here's Fishpaw, already daydreaming about having a mate in kit someday. He's definitely going to be a very pretty gold and cream cat when he's all grown up. Honestly, kind of a missed opportunity to have a prefix of sun or gold, but that's okay. He grew to be faithful and enjoys digging, and again, his mentor is Shaded Antler. Then we have Scratchpaw playing a prank on Medusa Pelt. She grew to be loving and looks for trinkets. She is very interesting, just pale brown. Then we have Jumblepaw, currently playing a prank on Moonfern. He's confident and steps lightly, which is gonna be an interesting combination, I guess, with Frost Whisper, because Frost is generally like cool and reserved, and I don't know if confidence is going to come across as a loud or a quiet confidence, for lack of better words there. I can see confidence that's more in the line of arrogance to be annoying or grating to Frost Whisper. But I can also see Frost Whisper appreciating a quiet confidence, so we'll have to see how they mesh, but I'm hopeful that they will. Then here's Slumberpaw, who's claiming she can take on an entire clan as a fresh apprentice. She's bold, so that's fitting, and interested in relationship drama. She also is kind of that pale cream gold, and I still just really like the silver eyes. Again, it kind of makes me feel like, you know, kind of oracle-y, like the cat could see something that most other cats can't, which really would have been best for a medicine cat, but I wouldn't have said no, she'd wanted to be a mediator too. And of course, Yarosar is her mentor. Yarosar does really seem to like mentoring cats. He's had a ton. Let's actually go see. Apprentice is Slumberpaw. He's had more. Oh, former apprentice is Big Blotch. Okay. I, A, don't know how I missed that, and B, I really feel like I'd seen him be mentor a lot more than that, so that's weird, but maybe I'm just living in a weird alternate universe here. Alright, let's just see how everybody is doing though. There's way too many cats here now, so we're just gonna skip through this as quick as we can. Yarosar is thinking about forming an alliance. Needledew just wants to sleep. Also, he does go by he, him pronouns now. I got a little bit mixed up in last episode, I think, so sorry if I was referring to Needledew as she, her. It got very ingrained into me, so I will try and do better. If not, just gently correct me in the comments. It's not intentional. Blue Shade is looking forward to today. Hill Petal is fervently grooming between each of their toes. I always see my cats doing that, and I feel like it has to be so ticklish. Soren Sky saw a yappy little dog today. Okay. Not a lot of like big pressing issues, which is fine by me. So everybody seems to be doing okay, and we'll thank the plenty of green leaf for that. Okay, so still fittingly enough, we are trying to set a good example for younger cats. So that would be both our own kits, I think, and also with Jumblepaw, because now we're his direct mentor. And crazy enough, we are 10 moons away from being into senior more Frost Whisper. I don't think I'm ready for that. Weaselreed is also trying to set a good example for younger cats. He's doing better now that his injury isn't infected, but he's still recovering from a snake bite. Oh, Ravensong is also trying to set a good example for younger cats, so all of the older warriors are trying to be good examples. And Lyrush is also trying to be a good example for younger cats, so I guess we are just really trying to put the best foot forward with all the young apprentices around now. Flirting with Lyrush, she says, "You know, I never thought I'd end up with a cat like you, but now that I'm here, I wouldn't have it any other way." That is really nice. It's kind of weird to think like how long Lyre has been around for that we weren't like romantic or platonic at all with, because now it feels weird if we hadn't been. I don't know if that makes any sense at all, but what I'm trying to say is, like, I can't really imagine going through the challenge without Lyre, like, in the role that she is at this point in time. Hey, Frost Whisper. Are you okay? I noticed Bronzepelt was chatting your ears off. That's a lot of attention. It's a big deal. It isn't? Oh, okay. The introvert versus the extrovert, I think. Fawnchock is feeling confined and cooped up. She is still sick with red cough and has been for 3 moons. The fact that it wasn't an immediate death sentence is good, but I'm still not... Okay, so we've been giving her lungwort. I'm still not convinced that she's gonna make it out of the woods just yet. We do still have lungwort and some other herbs to help out, but you know, red cough is just something I don't think I've ever had a cat completely recover from. I've treated it before, but I've never seen a cat make the full rebound. And again, Fawnchock being in such deep hatred for Frost is just something that means that I would be sad if they went, but I'd also simultaneously be okay with it because that means we wouldn't get murdered in cold blood at the end of our life. Poppy Eye recently put a dead snake at the camp entrance to scare clanmates. That feels really mean after what happened with Weaselreed. Poppy Eye is very StarClan oriented. How's Frost doing on that, actually? We are perfectly neutral on the Dark Forest versus StarClan, so in some ways that's nice. It gives us a good, like, narrative point where we could go either way, but I don't know. I feel like I'm inherently oriented towards the StarClan side of things, but I think Frost is the opposite. And I guess that kind of balances itself out at the end of the day. Also, Rabbitail and Fawnchock have a pretty strong mutual romantic interest in one another, so I'm really shipping them, actually. And I hope we get to see more of that pairing. I can't get over how pretty Queso Storm is. I think I just like the black hats with the deep blue shaders. Willowpaw can't wait to get back to training as soon as the sun rises. We notice that Willowpaw isn't acting like their usual self. We ask her what's wrong. Oh, it's nothing really. It's just that sometimes I feel so behind my den mates. Not just in training, but in everything. Everybody else already has everything figured out. What they want to do with their lives, their places in the clan, who they're going to become mates with. I just don't know any of that stuff. Okay, so can reality check Willowpaw, comfort Willowpaw, or sure Willowpaw. I feel like my approach would technically be a reality check, but I don't know if that would be too harsh in the game, because what I'd want to say is that everybody gets to where they are in life at different speeds, you know? Some people or cats do figure that out a lot quicker than others. Some of them take their time. Some of them seem like they're getting there very quickly, but end up taking a very long detour to get to their destination. The truth is that sometimes minds and hearts change, and even when it feels like you've got it all lined up, you don't. And, you know, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day because everything shakes out the way it should be. I think we'll go ahead and assure Willowpaw. We tell Willowpaw to keep her chin up as cats her age have less figured out than it seems. You really think so? That's also true. I guess I never even considered that other apprentices could feel the same way I do. Never really talk about stuff like this around the den. Everybody acts so grown up all the time. But I guess on the outside I do too. Maybe it would help if we were all more honest. Thanks for the advice. That's the other secret too, is that I'm firmly into the camp of being an adult now, and there are so many days I feel like I need an adult to help me. You never really figure it out. Echopaw is playing a prank on Queso Storm. Yes, Frostless Bear, I'm going to be safe in my training and keep my claws sheathed. Relax. I'm not a little kid anymore, you know? I can look out for myself. That's what you think. Swampaw is playing a prank on Falcon Scratch. Hello, I didn't think anyone would come over here. Want to share this fresh kill? I always think that fresh kill taken from the pile after a long day tastes good. It could be the hard work, but it tastes wonderful. Moralpaw is helping Echopaw perfect a fighting pose. Hey, what was that one story you used to tell in the nursery? The one about the kit who went missing about not eating all of their fresh kill. We retell the details of the story to Moralpaw. Ah yes, that's the one. Sorry clan, it was driving me crazy not remembering. Kind of a messed up story, no? We concede maybe it was a little morbid. But hey, I guess I've always cleaned my bones since then. The most iconic children's stories are always the worst ones too. Think grim fairy tales, and yeah, I think it's usually fine. It works out. Burnpaw saw some kitty pets playing with colorful moss balls. Burnpaw is up before first light, looking bleary-eyed and miserable. I'm going to kill Needledew. Like actually, I'm not even joking. Looks like all of her moons of weaseling out of morning patrols have finally caught up to her. She's only 9 moons old and doing this for 3 moons, so I wonder if this is the first instance that she couldn't weasel her way out of by that approximation. And then, of course, we're going to talk to Jumblepaw too. We're going to talk to him every moon he's our apprentice, so I guess get used to seeing his little face. Frostless Bear, I've been waiting for you all day. Come on, let's go. Jumblepaw bounds off into the territory before we can even get a word in. He has so much energy, it can be hard to keep up with. Especially at Frost's age, I'm sure. Moonfern is keeping a calm demeanor amidst nursery chaos. As Moonfern and Twigkit play Moss Ball, Moonfern notices how Twigkit takes a gentle approach when passing the ball back to them, making sure it doesn't fly at their face. Empathy 1. Charred Rumble waves her tail at Pigeon Flick and watches them head out for a patrol. As Charred Rumble and Plumekit play Moss Ball, Charred Rumble notices how Plumekit also takes a gentle approach. Empathy also 1. And the kits are being kits, so we're gonna dive into patrols. For our LifeGen patrol, we spot a large mouse nearby. We successfully stalk and catch it. Makes a good addition to the fresh kill pile. I do think we're gonna take Liar on a date since there was mention of that for the moon. We want to get closer to Lyrish for a while now, but we're not quite sure how to do it. An idea strikes you as you consider asking Lyre if they'd want to accompany you on a morning stroll out of camp. They agree, and we have to keep ourselves from jumping in joy. In the soft morning light of the early sunrise, we quietly admire their side profile to ourselves, awed by how their fur looks under the golden light. It's also just so nice to see cats that have been together for a long time, you know, still keeping that romance and sense of wonder around. Blueshade is a very unproductive afternoon. Hillpetal gathers moss. And Storm Sky can't quite make a connection with StarClan, nor does he gather anything. We're taking Jumblepaw out on their first training patrol. We suggest it could be a good chance to practice new hunting techniques. Unfortunately, neither cat sets up to teach. Jumblepaw looks disappointed. What was Frostless Bear expecting for him to lead the training? Maybe in some ways he was, like show me what you know, and then forgot that he's supposed to show Jumblepaw everything. It's okay to be a little rusty, I guess. Look at all of these apprentices. We're only gonna have training patrols, it seems. Uh-oh, while helping gathering herbs, Swanpaw stumbles upon a bush of red berries. I'm nervous, but I kind of want to see what happens. Oh, that... If I click proceed, it's gonna be something bad, but Swanpaw I actually have confidence in to, like, be mature and to do the right thing. Okay, unsure but remembering the nursery tales of red deathberries, Swanpaw avoids them and alerts the others, who confirm with one wary look it is a deathberry bush. Okay, so that's pretty much actually exactly how I expected Swanpaw to react, so good to know my headcanon is consistent. Okay, all the training patrols, of which there were so many, were very unproductive, so there's nothing missed there, but nobody got any real training, it seems. Okay, our border patrol spots a badger making a den on RiverClan territory. Pigeon Flick is not willing to let any cat die to a badger. They wait on the border for a patrol to come by and give them a warning, improving our relationships. Okay, our last patrol catches a medium amount of prey. So that does leave us with almost 400 bits of prey when we only need about 115. So we really should be good. Just because we have so many apprentices right now, I'm still gonna keep it pretty 50-50 on border versus hunting missions. Just because I think we could out-eat ourselves at the rate we're going, if I'm being honest. So, just to give you an idea there, but honestly, this moon's patrols were not very exciting anyway. But we're gonna go ahead and dive into Moon 112 for the clan. Okay, so I did just go ahead and jump into miscellaneous here because there's actually nothing under all events this moon. And I did see a little bit of a spoiler, so I just wanted to start at the bottom and then we'll kind of come back around to the top. So Chirpback went for a long walk this morning, deep in thought. Sagbella was trying to flip up his nest when he saw a thorn inside of his bedding. A prank, but he couldn't be fooled. Flowers can be so pretty even before they bloom, just like Radaster. Chardrumble blushes as they see Radaster wear the orange flower bulb they got him. Slumberpaw tossed a snake out of camp before it could bite someone. Not something I'd expect to see of a brand new apprentice, but I think this latest batch of apprentices is really struggling with overconfidence, or maybe arrogance, I don't know, but they definitely seem like they know what they're doing, or at least they think they do. As for this little bit, this is like just such a sweet little exchange here. Honestly, Radaster seems like he really does like flowers a lot, so that's also just a very thoughtful gift that Chardrumble got him. Okay, and here we are, so I didn't want to call it, but I kind of called it, and Fawnshock did not survive Redcoff. As the clan sits vigil, Pigeon Flick's voice cracks with grief, talking about the time they had with Fawnshock. As the vigil draws to a close, someone suggests Pigeon Flick should eat. They refuse, not so much as shifting their vacant gaze. As the clan sits vigil, Ravensong's voice cracks with grief, talking about the time they had with Fawnshock. Ravensong trembles, staring at their nest and unable to sleep as they brood over Fawnshock's last moments. Did they suffer? Were they scared? Ravensong can't shake the crushing guilt. In the past moon, Fawnshock has taken their place in StarClan. I am going to double check where Fawnshock ended up. They had their moments, but they didn't do anything like actually insane like Cold Shriek did, so they can go to StarClan, and I think they belong in StarClan. If they chose to go to the Dark Forest, and like this isn't just for Fawnshock, this is for anybody. Like if they did everything correct in life, quote unquote, and they go to the Dark Forest anyway because that's what they believe, I kind of want to just leave them there because that's like literally their choice. I'm a little torn on that bit. So I guess let me know what you guys think on that. Sky Scratch has gotten heat exhaustion. Moonfern is glad their stomachache is gone. Weaselreed is healed, yay. Rabbitail's brain is feeling better. Uh-oh. Crinshade and Shaded Antler have both gotten fleas. Falling Whisker has gotten heat exhaustion. Amber Stripe has recovered from heat exhaustion. Scentbright no longer has a running nose. Tiny Stripe's brain is healed. Willowpaw overexerted herself and is feeling sore. Echopaw has gotten heat exhaustion. And Radasser's bite wound has healed. A lot of events going on there. Some good, some bad. A lot of them just somewhere in the middle. I honestly wonder if I should have done like a rest and relaxation for the summer too, just to help mitigate some of this heat exhaustion, but what's done is done, and I guess this just means it's a really hot summer this go. Okay, I tried to separate out our relationships here, and I literally could not, so even using like this thing up here, I couldn't. I thought maybe that like it being moved up there would still affect the relationships further down if I change the settings, but clicking on literally anything just removes everything, so I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. We're just gonna talk with a couple of random cats and call it a moon, I think. Aw, poor little Echopaw is sick with heat exhaustion. I think she'll be fine. I just feel sad seeing her like that. Yarosar will never forget Fawnshock. Fawnshock has been a very prominent member of the clan for a very long time, so I have a sneaking suspicion a lot of cats will be mourning her. Oh, and speaking of, before I forget, I should make sure she made it to StarClan, and it looks like she did. So she made it up to StarClan, and again, I don't think there's anything she did that would negatively impact that, so now she's a StarClan warrior. Needledew is not letting life get them down, though. They are assigning cats to the Dawn Patrol. Blue Shade is praying that Fawnshock is safe in StarClan. We know she is. Hill Petal is refusing to give another clan's medicine cat some herbs. Storm Sky is eavesdropping on Falling Whisker. So drama elsewhere, I guess. Oh, Sky Scratch is playing a prank on us. I guess we'll talk to her. Can you believe it, Frost Whisper? Ravensong just brought me back the most awful gift from their patrol. I must be the luckiest cat in the whole clan. No, in the whole world. Aw. It is nice to see them, you know, still going strong too. I feel really bad for Weaselreed because, like, as soon as he got his mate, he lost his mate. As long as he's happy being single, that's what matters too. We're giving some advice to Poppy Eye, so I'm gonna talk to them, and I think we can patrol with them. I don't think they're sick, so we'll try and do that too. Weaselreed is trying to set a good example for younger cats. Ravensong is playing a prank on Radasser. Lyre Rush is mourning Fawnshock. I'm gonna forgo talking to her this moon, just because I do want to try and keep it like strictly family, strictly everything else on alternating. Radasser is lecturing Willowpaw in the warrior code, so we'll talk to him. Oh, and look at the little orange bulb he has. Yarosar, what do you think of them? Their leadership style, the choices they've made, would you have done it differently? I'm just curious. What do you think of who's in charge could reveal a lot about your character? I'm just gonna refuse to answer. I feel like Frost doesn't really like Yarosar, but that is his, I guess like brother-in-law would be the actual term because it's his mate's brother. So we're just not gonna talk any kind of trash. Oh, come on, it's all just in the spirit of inquiry. Do you really consider your opinion so important it needs protecting? I guess. Snowleaf is making odd noises. It's been a while, so let's talk to him. My goodness, it's the one, the only, Frost Whisper. I've been practicing my loud voice. How do you like it? What do you mean I was already talking in my loud voice? Hey, that's not fair. Aw, that's cute. Okay, yeah, looks like Poppy Eye is healthy. We'll talk to her too. Come any closer, I dare you. We want to laugh, but the flash in Poppy Eye's eyes tells us that they're not joking. Yeah, I forgot that she hated us too. At least it isn't as strong as her sibling was. It looks like she actually had a bit of a crush on Scorchrunner. Is that mutual? I need some romance here. Scorch Runner doesn't really like anybody. They have a few different crushes. Poppy Eye, Cold Trick, and Chardrumble. Pretty widespread in taste there, I won't lie. But sadly, I don't think we're gonna get any immediate romantic interest there. Willowpaw woke up on the wrong side of the nest. Echopaw is knowing that Saffron Kit will make a great clanmate someday. Swampaw is playing a prank on Barrowfoot. Moralpaw is playing a prank on Prinshade. Burnpaw is craving the taste of fish. Jumblepaw knows he will get picked first for today's hunting patrol. Every gathering feels like the same old song and dance. First, each clan reports that the prey is running well, then we all exchange a few fake pleasantries and then it's over. Talk about boring. Doesn't help that once things finally start to get interesting, StarClan has to go and cloud up the sky. I swear, it's like they don't want us to have any fun. I mean, kind of is calling it like it is, I'll grant him that much. Moonfern is gathering moss for the nursery. While Moonfern and Chivekit are playing, Chivekit notices one of the other kids watching in a lonely corner and invites them to play. They happily accept and everybody has a blast. Compassion, too, for Chivekit. Chardrumble doesn't believe a story an apprentice told for why they need to be out of camp. While cleaning, Saffron Kit suggests a shortcut to clean up faster. Chardrumble tries it, and within moments the nursery is clean. Chardrumble praises Saffron Kit for his clever thinking. Intelligence and empathy now won. Alright, everybody is trying not to get babied over in the nursery. And wildly enough, they will be made apprentices too in the next moon. So the apprentices den is going to be absolutely overrun. But that's okay. It's kind of a nice change of pace, I won't lie. Let's dive into patrol. During a patrol, we see a strange wooden path with birds on it. We leap towards the path but miss, landing slamming into one of the boards, scaring all the birds away. Our clanmates are happy we're okay, but are unimpressed by your fall. The fences, I'm sure, can be a little bit sticky or slick unexpectedly. Blueshay gathers plantain, and this is actually some really nice artwork for it too. I really appreciate that. Hillpetal gathers elder leaves, and Stormsky gathers cobwebs. It looks like a pretty successful round there. Alright, this time we're suggesting it could be a good chance to practice fighting techniques with Jumblepaw. And once again, no cat sets up to teach. I'm starting to see why we maybe weren't considered mentor material now. It's almost dawn when the deputy rouses Willowpaw for her assessment. I wonder if she's actually gonna get her warrior name next moon then. She's meant to find Primshay posing as an enemy is somewhere on the territory and handle the situation. Primshay could be anywhere. Willowpaw was already awake and raring to go. She runs off before the deputy can say anything. It's just a game of hide and seek after all. When she finds Primshay, she has to stifle her chitters of excited pleasure. Primshay must have heard her because Willowpaw sees their whiskers twitch in amusement. Oh well, she gleefully charges forward anyway. Alright, so we get the usual dialogue about Swanpaw having dreams filled with scary images and Queso Storm lending them a, compassionate ear. But this is also new artwork, and I just wanted to highlight that because it's really cute too. Our first border mission sees two kids from Goose Clan playing close to the border. As Sembright crosses the border with Burrowfoot to grab the kids by their scruff, a Goose Clan patrol suddenly appears, looking furious with their claws unsheathed and fangs bared. Burrowfoot gently drops the kid and attempts to explain the situation, but is immediately and viciously killed? Sembright races back over their side of the border, just barely escaping the wrath of Goose Clan warriors. Burrowfoot died. Relationships with Goose Clan have worsened. That is extreme, and frankly, I'm actually really mad that it's Burrowfoot because Burrowfoot has done nothing wrong in her entire life and has just been like the model citizen, the gentlest cat, the fiercest warrior, the best hunter, and has dealt only with insecurity about her belonging in the clan and then just gets executed on sight when we are allies with this clan and have done nothing wrong to them. So frankly, I'm going to have Yarostar antagonize Goose Clan. I don't think he's actually going to be, like, most likely to antagonize if what I remember from him is correct. So I'm not gonna, like, push that to war with another clan. But that is such a valid reason to war with another clan, and I think he's now mourning Burrowfoot, which is fair. Least likely to antagonize, so yeah. He's just gonna antagonize this moon then. I personally would have pushed that further if he was more likely to antagonize, but now we're going to offend Goose Clan because what was that? Seriously. Oh great, in our next patrol, we get ambushed by rogues. Alright, luckily though, we give them a thrashing. Alright, Weaselreed is leading patrol and they're looking for the Rat King. Last time we went hunting for the legendary monster, we lost a cat, and I don't have it in me to do it today. We don't have anybody that's going to force us to proceed. So we're not going to get eaten by the Rat King today. Maybe next moon, but not today. Alright, and last but not least, we end up insulting Clay Clan somehow. So I guess our allies, like our alliances with all the other clans, is just crumbling for reasons today. Alright, and now we're going to dive into the last moon of the episode. This is going to be a longer one, I guess. Okay, so going into our last moon for today, it's time to clean out our nest. Fresh moss is great, but we'll miss the bits of fluff and feathers. Moonfern seems to notice our unhappiness and offers some of their supply to you. Our mate, Lyaresh, takes us on a midnight stroll. Both of us enjoy the night air and each other's company. While on board patrol, we come across a peculiar scent that we can't quite identify. We make a mental note to report its needledew. I guess that could be really anything. Okay, and it looks like we are fine there, so let's go ahead and dive into ceremonies then. Okay, so Yarostar calls the clan to a meeting and declares Willowpaw to be a warrior. She is now called Willowtail and is celebrated for her hard work. Moonfern welcomes Swanthroat as a new warrior, honoring her hard work. Just hard work, I guess, for our kids. Yarostar has been following the progress of Burnpaw for moons and feels it's finally time for her to get a warrior name. She is granted the name Burnfur in honor of her hard work. Some interesting names. I'm not really sold on all these suffixes, but maybe. Plumekill Lally complains as Primshade pulls her over to quickly groom her pelt. She manages to wriggle away and scurry off to the front of the crowd for her ceremony, where she's renamed to Plumepaw and apprenticed to Spruceleaf. Twigpaw has reached age of 6 moons and has been made apprentice to somebody. Tripaw touches noses with Radaster and hopes that he'll get to hunt first so he can make sure the clan is fed. Saffronpaw can't believe his apprenticeship is finally here. Nearly tripping over his own paws, he scurries up to Chirpback, excitedly touching noses with them. A lot of ceremonies. Yarostar looks at all the cats sitting vigil for Burrowfoot and wonders how any of them will cope without Burrowfoot in their lives. Things are never going to be the same now. Could never be the same. Yarostar doesn't understand how life is supposed to just go on without them. They refuse to accept it. Chartrumble fusses gently with Burrowfoot's fur, hiding the evidence of what killed them. They want to remember them as they were in life, not like this. As the vigil draws to a close, someone suggests Chartrumble should eat. They refuse, not so much as shifting their vacant gaze. In the past moon, Burrowfoot has taken their place in StarClan. I do think it's a little interesting the cats that actually end up mourning Burrowfoot. I guess Chartrumble I could see being almost a surrogate mother for Burrowfoot because she came into the clan so young. Skyscratch managed to recover from heat exhaustion. Crunchey and Shaded Antler managed to rid themselves of fleas. Flipcone was on a walk when they saw Falling Whisker being attacked by a rogue. They helped Falling Whisker escape, but not before gaining a few wounds. The clan has encountered Twig Fawn. Spruceleaf has gotten fleas and got some tears in their pelts. Tiny Stripe has gotten fleas. Willowpaw feels better, her soreness is gone, and Tripaw has gotten fleas. So many fleas. During the gathering, Blueshade makes an off-color comment about Goose Clan's leader, much to their shock. Relationships worsened. Honestly, if that's the only thing we did, that is not enough. The more romantic members of the clan sigh, watching the new mates Hillpetal and Chartrumble, who are too caught up in each other to notice. How did I not see this ship happening? I don't understand. Okay. I'm happy for Hillpetal, but this does mean that they need to get demoted or exiled, and I think I'd rather demote them than exile them. And that means they're probably gonna be hurting for a medicine cat. Rabbitail was caught sharing prey with a kitty pet, who was chased off by a patrol. The clan has encountered Klee, and then Twigfawn again. Okay, so before I get distracted, I'm going to go ahead and change our focus to be... I guess let's just go back to herb gathering. I know it's kind of basic, but it never hurts to have a surplus of herbs. We're not hurting for food at all. I can't do any of the intra-clan stuff without a mediator or without, like, getting more cats hurt. And, like, I don't think we'd really ever be raiding other clans or sabotaging other clans unless we were at war with them. And I don't foresee Goose Clans escalating that far because I just frankly don't think Yarosar would push it that far. Maybe I'll be surprised and we'll have some other run-ins with them, but I don't think we will, and I think that's the only circumstance in which we would actually see that being used, so... There's that, but let's see some of these other cats. Ooh. So here's Klee, who's wandering in the backyard when a strange noise scared her back inside. She's actually a really interesting patterned tortie with like a black striped tabby pelt and gray underlines. So, very interesting, very aggressive. And Twigfawn is here, who, based off of her name, I'm assuming is a former clan cat, but her backstory is just rogue. A little nervous with everything going on here, that like all these interactions with other cats is just going to escalate further, but there's nothing we can do about it at the same time, so it just is what it is. Aw, Hillpetal is feeling excited. Aw, okay. I mean, they do really like each other. Chartrumble actually has a lot of feelings for Needle do too, which is definitely not returned. So I'm glad that Chartrumble did get some like romantic action happening here, just because I feel like the queens are kind of weirdly overlooked for that. But I am very sad that now we are going to be having to lose Hillpetal as a medicine cat. I know he chose this, or at least in some capacity he did, but I'm actually really surprised by that. I guess I just never really saw medicine cat being Hillpetal's calling, so in some ways I guess that's fair, but Hillpetal is now a warrior and we likely don't have enough hands on deck to care for everybody, so we can care for up to 42 members, which is maybe a page and a half. So yeah, we're gonna need another medicine cat. And now all of the kits are apprentices, so that's gonna be a little harder to come by. Speaking of though, let's go ahead and see Plumepaw a little bit more grown up. She wants to make her mentor proud, who again is Sprucely. She is ambitious and never sits still. Then we have Twigpaw, who is playing a prank on Rabbitail. Her mentor is Tiny Stripe, so a very new warrior. She's witty, never sits still, and enjoys digging. Tripaw is wondering if he'll be allowed to go night hunting soon. He's thoughtful, never sits still, and his mentor is Radaster. Then we have Saffron Paw, eavesdropping on Twigpaw. His mentor is Chirpback. He's flamboyant and never sits still. And he's a very interesting pinky purple with those blue eyes. Okay, I'm gonna kind of skip through this last moon just because this episode's already way too long, so... Speed mode, go! Yarosar wants to get to know Sembright better. Needledew is questioning everything. Very vague. Blueshade is giving advice to Jumplepaw. Storm Sky is wondering how Lyra Rush is doing. I wonder if that means that Lyra Rush is maybe gonna share news with us soon. I wouldn't mind having more kits, but I also think that with the sudden explosion of kittens, there's no real need to press that. Frost Whisper wants to critique Poppy Eye's fighting techniques. I don't know why we're fighting Poppy Eyes so much lately. Lyra Rush is going to help a kit that stumbled over their own paws. I don't know what kits we have anymore. Lyra Rush's head is in the clouds as always. This time they're admiring the sunset. So many beautiful things in this world, but none more beautiful than you, Frost Whisper. They shoot you a dazzling smile and suddenly your heart melts. Oh, I just love those passing little comments. Snowleaf helped bury Burrowfoot, leaving their favorite prey at the grave. Icy Fin is trying to learn a few basic herb remedies, so honestly, with some of his traits, I could see him possibly going over to Medicine Cat himself. Sincere is a good Medicine Cat trait, and Unnatural Senses could be StarClan oriented too. Falling Whisker is mourning Burrowfoot, and Flipcone sat all night at Burrowfoot's vigil. They were all like apprentices together, or at least pretty close, so I suppose that does make sense. Here's Spruce Leaf, since he kept cropping up on this moon's events, sparring with some clanmates, a bold guardian. Here's Willowtail, wanting to get to know Falling Whisker better. She is presently methodical and a great climber. Again, this could change next moon when she becomes an adult formally. She is mentored by Prince, who influenced her to be more likely to follow the status quo and be consistent. Prince helped her become better at climbing. When she graduated, she was honored for hard work, graduating at 11 moons old. Here's Swanthroat, who saw a pair of two legs near camp today. She is mellow but very clever, which, again, I'd say is pretty fitting. She is mentored by Queso Storm, who influenced her to be more likely to make their own rules, be cold towards others, and resort to violence. Wow, okay. When she graduated, she was on for hard work, graduating at 11 moons old. Here's Burnifer, who wants to get to know Blueshade better. She's sincere and incredibly clever. She is mentored by Falcon Scratch, who influenced her to be more likely to think things through, make their own rules, and try to avoid violence. Falcon Scratch helped her become better at solving problems. When she graduated, she was honored for her hard work, graduating at 11 moons old. I do think I'm going to change her suffix. It's just a little too basic. Okay. That's a really interesting kind of name, Burn Path. And I think we'll go with it. Kind of like puts me in mind of like she's forging her own path through fire, or with fire even. And I think that could be a very interesting journey depending on how things end up shaking out, of course. Jumblepaw thinks Yarosar could be leading the clan better. Jumblepaw has gotten Slumberpaw pinned into a headlock, gloating over her with a mischievous grin. Still the best in the family. Just when we're about to intervene, Slumberpaw whirls around, kicks Jumblepaw square in the chest. Jumblepaw quickly rebounds and chases his sister across camp, laughing like crazy in spite of his tussle, or maybe because of it. Guess fighting is just how Jumblepaw expresses his familial love. And I also think that's a bit more common for cats apprentices' age. Cats that are under a year old, I guess I could say. Moonfern is understanding the fine line between allowing kids to explore and ensuring their safety, while Chardrumble is reflecting on the joys and challenges of parenthood in the clan. I do think I'm going to talk to our kits that did get made warriors. We're going to skip out on the others, though. Willowtail is fast asleep, sprawled out in front of a half-built nest. Aw, she probably got done with the warrior vigil and then went to build her warrior nest and pass out from tiredness. Oh, hello, Frost Whisper. What was I thinking about? Oh, nothing in particular. Just the nature of the warrior code, the meaning of existence, the purpose of our lives, origin of the cosmos. Trivial stuff like that. Yeah, trivial. Burnpath is talking with Yarosar across camp. She's so poised and intelligent with her words, so much smarter than you have ever dreamed of becoming. We beam with pride as Yarosar walks by, thrilled by the joy of being the parent of such an incredible young cat. I mean, I guess that does tie in with the incredibly clever part of her traits. Alright, quick LifeGen patrol. There's a stale piece of prey in the pile, and as we imagine sickness sweeping through camp, we remove the offending piece, diligently combing the rest of the pile and identify some other stale pieces of prey. Yarosar nods as they pass, recognizing our effort. Frost Whisper suggests this could be a good chance to practice new fighting techniques with Trumplepaw. Are we actually going to step up? Yes, we have a nice practice session, and Jumplepaw soaks up all of our best hits and tricks. Okay, if we had failed there, I think I would have just handed Jumplepaw to somebody else. Alright, Hill Petal obviously is no longer a medicine cat, so they can't gather herbs. Storm Sky gathered nothing, and Blue Shade gathered goldenrod, and looked like he had a fun time doing it. Alright, just for featuring some of the apprentices training, Squirt Runner gathers Radaster and their apprentices, and Moral Paw thinks she had a vision from StarClan last night, but no one can make sense of it. Alright, I sent all the sisters out with Snowleaf on their first hunting mission. I don't know why, just felt like a good fit. And as the patrol walks through the woods, Burnt Path explains an idea she had for squirrel hunting. Sounds strange, but it could work. Burnt Path suggests finding squirrels sheltered in trees, climbing above them, and shaking the branches to scare them down. Unfortunately for her, the idea is a little too far out there. While the cats do manage a few small catches, the day is mostly wasted. Well, we did catch a very little amount of prey. Alright, our border patrol comes across a small dog right on the border of our territory, and we drive it away. Our last border mission finds a kitty pet who's interested in joining the clan. We convince the kitty pet to join the clan. Runt has joined the clan. Alright, we'll check out Runt in a second. I'm just gonna send everyone else out on hunting, even if it's not very successful. Alright, where's Runt? Alright, so here's Runt, who's looking around camp with wonder. He's a senior adult male with yellow eyes and a single color light gray pelt. He's thoughtful, a treasure keeper, and proficient tracker. He is formerly a kitty pet, but joined the clan after being found sick and weak after eating something he shouldn't have. Joined the clan on Moon 113 at the age of 101 moons. Weird to think that for a senior adult we're picking up, the clan is technically older than they are now. It's usually the opposite. So he's starting off with a slight interest in the dark forest, thinking it's a place of mystery and ferocity. And I think just in spirit of the clan, we're gonna give him a random suffix. I can't call him Runtface. That feels like a warrior cat's insult. Okay, Runttail, this is one occasion where I'll be totally fine with a very basic suffix. But on that note, that's where we're gonna go ahead and leave it for today. Sorry it's a little bit longer, even with me trying to skip through some of the interactions. It's definitely just gonna get more challenging as the clan gets bigger, because I do want to actually showcase cats and like showcase interplays, interactions, and relationships, and etc. But once you get past a certain point, that just becomes kind of impossible to do. And so, gonna try and keep striking that balance. The first moon's always gonna be the longest, last moon's usually gonna be the shortest. It just is inevitably how it is, I feel like. But I do hope you guys all enjoyed that. And of course, if you have any feedback on anything, please let me know. I'm honestly still kind of sad about what happened with Burrowfoot. I was expecting like if someone were to get injured, it would have just been getting injured there, not outright murdered. But here we are, so thank you again so much for watching. Feel free to check out links in the description below. Thank you especially to Parental Unit for supporting the channel, as that support is greatly appreciated. But until next time, everybody, stay safe, stay happy. I'll see you all then, and bye!